There are times when you just have to let go of your pride. This happened to Emma Hayes on a Tuesday morning. The hospital sent her a notice. It said she had to pay $300,000 for her mother's cancer treatment. She had 3 months to come up with the money. They would stop giving her mother the chemotherapy she needed. Emma Hayes looked at the letter in her apartment in Brooklyn. She was surrounded by paintings she was trying to fix up. She did this to make some money. It was not enough to even pay her rent. Emma Hayes and her mother were in a spot. The hospital wanted a lot of money for the cancer treatment. Emma Hayes did not know what to do. She just sat there in her apartment staring at the letter from the hospital. The woman was 29 years old. She was very good at her job, good enough to work for museums. But the woman had no money, so she could not do the things she wanted to do. All the woman could do was sit and watch her mother die. The museums were not an option for the woman because she was too broke. The woman had to watch her mother die. That was very sad for the woman. In the city, Julian Blackwood was in a tough spot. He was in a penthouse apartment that cost a lot of money, more than most people make in their whole life. Julian Blackwood had a problem. His grandfathers will said something clearly. Julian Blackwood had to get the family's tech company, which was worth $1 billion. Only if he was married before he turned 35 years old. That birthday was coming up in 6 months. Julian Blackwood had always been a person who liked things to make sense, who liked numbers to add up, and who liked to be in control of everything. Julian Blackwood could not control who he loved. Love was not something he could figure out or plan for, like the tech company's budget or something. Julian Blackwood was used to being able to control things. Love was different, and it was causing him a lot of stress. His last relationship ended 3 years ago. That was when he found out his fiancée was selling company secrets to companies. The company secrets were being sold to competitors. He could not trust people anymore. Trust was something he could not have now. His fiancée had broken the trust. Now he thought that trust was a luxury he could no longer afford for the company and for himself. Emma was working late at the Metropolitan Museum. She was carefully cleaning a lot of dirt from a very old painting from the Renaissance time. Then her supervisor came to her with a strange request. Someone who collects art wanted Emma to help him with his art gallery at home. The money they were offering was really good. They would pay her $5,000 just to talk to them one time. Emma was so surprised that she almost dropped the brush she was holding. If she got $5,000, that would be enough to pay for her mother's medicine for 2 weeks. So Emma said yes to the job before she even knew what it was about. The address took her to a building where the men at the door were wearing really nice suits, even nicer than the ones she had. To get in the elevator you needed a card. The hallway that went to the top of the building was really long, it was even longer than her apartment. Emma held her portfolio tightly. She could feel the material of her old dress, and she could see the scratches on her worn-out shoes. When the door to the penthouse opened, Emma forgot how to breathe. The penthouse was that amazing. Emma was really surprised by the penthouse. Julian Blackwood did not look like a man to most people. His face was very sharp and intense. It looked like it was made that way because he was always trying to achieve something and never got sleep. When you looked into his eyes you saw a color that was like the sky when a big storm is coming. When Julian Blackwood looked at Emma with those eyes, she felt like she was the person around. He was younger than Emma thought he would be, in his mid-30s. Julian Blackwood was wearing a shirt with the sleeves rolled up and you could see his strong forearms. They were muscular, but not too big. Everything about Julian Blackwood said that he was a man who was in control and had a lot of money. "Miss Hayes," he said in a voice. His voice was very precise. "Thank you for coming, Miss Hayes. Please, you can sit down now." The penthouse was made of a lot of glass and steel. It was really plain. Felt kind of cold. There were some nice art pieces on the walls. These were the kind of things you would normally see in a museum, not in someone's home. Emma was sitting on a couch made of leather. This couch probably cost more than her car. Julian got out 2 glasses of wine. Poured some in each one. He did not ask Emma if she wanted any wine. Then he sat down across from Emma. He looked at her closely, which made her feel a little weird. The way Julian was looking at her made the skin on her arms feel funny. Emma was looking at Julian. She could see that he was still looking at her with a lot of intensity. The penthouse and all the art and the fancy couch made Emma think about how different her life was from Julian's life. Julian was still looking at her. It was making her feel really uncomfortable. Julian said, "I want to be honest with you." He put down his wine, it was still full. "I did not bring you here to talk about art," Julian said. Emma's stomach dropped. She got up away and grabbed the portfolio that was in front of her. "If this is something that's not okay, Mr. Blackwood, I do not want any part of it," Emma said to Mr. Blackwood. She was looking at Mr. Blackwood when she said this to him. Emma was holding her portfolio tightly. She was ready to leave. "Sit down," he said, in a firm way. "What I am going to talk about is business. This business is very unusual. It is still business. The business I am talking about is not like business, it is highly unusual business." Something about the way he spoke made Emma stop what she was doing. She sat down. She was sitting on the edge of the couch ready to get up and leave at any moment. Emma was really paying attention to the man. The way he was talking was making her feel like she should be ready to run away from the couch at any time, which is why Emma was sitting like that. Julian leaned forward with his elbows on his knees. His storm cloud eyes were fixed on hers. Julian said, "I need a wife for 6 months. Julian will pay $500,000 to the woman who agrees to be his wife, for 6 months. The number just stayed there like something Emma was imagining. Emma laughed, it was a surprised laugh. "This is crazy," Emma said. "You are crazy," Emma told the person the number is still on her mind. "I am really desperate," Julian said. "My grandfather's will says I have to be married to get his company. I only have 6 months left. I need to find someone who does not care about my money except for what we agree on. This person should not know anyone I know, so they cannot use this to get something from me. I need someone who will just go away when our deal is over. My grandfather's company is a deal to me and I really need this to work out. I am looking for someone who will marry me for the next 6 months and then we will go our separate ways. This person has to be someone with no secrets, no plans to hurt me or my family, and no reason to stay in my life after the 6 months are up. I just want someone who will help me get my grandfather's company. That is it." Emma said to herself, "Why is this happening to me?" She whispered this quietly and her mind was really confused. "Julian said to me, I had you investigated. He was very straight with me. My mother needs money for her treatment. I do not have any problems with the law, I have not done anything and I am not on social media very much. I went to school, I am nice to look at and I really need help. I might think about what Julian is saying." Julian said, "We can help each Miss Hayes. He thinks that Miss Hayes, that is me, and he can work together." The doctor's visit should have upset Emma. Instead, Emma felt like she was giving in. It was like the paint she liked to fix, it was falling apart. $500,000 was a lot of money. Emma's mother could get the help she needed. The money they owed would be gone. Emma could finally feel okay again. Emma's mother could. That thought made Emma feel happy. She wanted to know what this would be like, so she asked. "What would this involve?" she said out loud. She did not like how quiet her voice was when she spoke. "We get married in a private ceremony. You live with me. We go to parties and other social things together. We make sure my family and the people I work with think we are really married. We have our bedrooms and we do not have to be romantic with each other unless you want to. We stay married for 6 months, then we get a divorce without telling anyone. You get the money we agreed on. You can go back to your life. I get the money my family is leaving me. Emma looked around the beautiful penthouse. It was a nice place. Then she thought about her mother who was in the hospital. She remembered the machines that were beeping all the time and the scared look in her mother's eyes. Emma also thought about all the paintings she had fixed. She had made them look nice and beautiful again. Maybe Emma could make herself feel better too. She thought about this for a moment. The penthouse was beautiful. It was not making her feel any better. Emma thought about her mother and the paintings more. She wanted to feel happy and beautiful, like the paintings she had restored. Emma thought that maybe she could restore herself like she did with the paintings. I want the money away, Emma said, her heart beating really fast. She was very serious about this. I want half of the money now. The other half when the 6 months are over. The money is a deal to me. I also want everything written down, every detail. I want a lawyer that I pick to look over it. This is important, to me, the money and the details and the lawyer, all of it. Julian smiled. For the time it was a small smile, but it looked kind of dangerous. His lips curved up a little. You are smarter than I thought you would be, Julian said. I accept the terms you gave me, the terms of the deal, I mean the terms that you proposed. He stood up. Held out his hand. Emma got up. Put her hand in his hand. His hand was warm. His handshake was firm. When Emma touched his hand, she felt a strange feeling go up her arm. This feeling was like a warning to Emma. She decided to ignore the warning about the man whose hand she was holding. Julian said, "Welcome to the family, Emma Blackwood," and the name Emma Blackwood sounded like a promise and a threat at once. The wedding happened fast. Emma Blackwood barely remembered it. There was a ceremony at the courthouse with 2 people they paid to be there. Julian wore a charcoal suit that probably cost a lot of money, more than Emma Blackwood made in a year. Emma Blackwood wore a cream dress she found on sale the day before. There were no flowers, no music, and no family members. They just signed some papers. Emma Blackwood got a ring that felt heavy on her finger. The ring was a reminder of Emma Blackwood's life with Julian. Julian put a platinum band with a diamond on her finger. The diamond looked like a star that was shining very bright. He did this quickly and his fingers felt cold. He did not touch her like someone who loved her. When the judge said they were married, Julian did not kiss her. He just nodded to say he understood. This marriage was an arrangement, it was not because they loved each other. Julian and his wife were now married. It did not feel like a happy moment. The platinum band with a diamond was now, on her hand, a reminder of their marriage. Moving into the penthouse was really weird. All of Emma's stuff fit into 3 suitcases. Julian took her to the guest room. This room was huge. It was even bigger than her apartment. The colors in the room were nice and calm, like cream and silver. The bathroom was amazing. It had floors and a shower, with lots of different settings. 6 to be exact. Then there was the closet. It was already full of clothes that fit Emma perfectly. Julian had picked them out with a shopper, but he did not ask her what she wanted. Julian said this from the doorway, watching her look at a silk blouse. The price tag on the silk blouse was really high. It made her feel dizzy. If the silk blouse or anything else is not right, the shopper can send it back. Emma said it is all really beautiful. She was touching the fabrics with her fingers. These are the fabrics she had only seen in magazines before. Then she said this was not necessary. He told me that I will be going to events with him. I need to dress like Mrs. Blackwood. He said this in a calm way, but I saw something strange in his eyes for a second. He said that he wants me to feel comfortable when we are at these events, with Mrs. Blackwood. That first week was really awkward. Julian and Emma were like 2 animals that do not know each other. They would talk about things over breakfast that the housekeeper at Julian's place made for them. Emma got to know what Julian does every day. Julian wakes up at 5 in the morning. He goes to work out in his gym. He drinks black coffee and then he goes to his office at home and stays there for 12 hours. Emma spent her days looking around the penthouse, reading books in the library and making video calls to her mother. Her mother is getting better now because of the treatment that Emma can finally pay for. Her mother said to her, "You look different." This was during one of their phone calls. Her mother was looking at Emma's face on the computer screen. "You look happier," she said. Then she asked, "Is there someone in your life, Emma?" Emma made herself smile. It was not true. It felt bad to say it. "I am feeling hopeful, Mom. The new job is going well." Emma really wanted to tell her mom about the job and how it was actually going. Emma said the new job was going well because she did not want to worry her mom. Emma and Julian went to a charity gala at the plaza for their public appearance together. Emma put on a pretty midnight blue gown that fit her body perfectly and she did her hair in soft waves. A professional did her makeup. Made her look like she was meant to be with Julian. When Emma came out of her room, Julian was already waiting for her in the foyer. He looked amazing in his custom tuxedo. Julian just stood there for a moment when he saw Emma, and for a second he did not look like he was in control like he usually does. Emma saw the way Julian looked at her. It was clear that he was really taken by her appearance. Julian was waiting for Emma. When she came out, he was struck by how beautiful she looked in her midnight blue gown, her hair and makeup perfect, and for a moment Julian forgot about being in control. He told her that she looked really beautiful. He said this in a voice. The way he said it was very sincere. This made her feel happy and excited. Her heart started beating fast when she heard him say that she looked stunning. Emma said to him, "You look really good when you are all cleaned up." She was trying to sound happy and not serious. Julian offered his arm to her. When she took his arm, she felt the muscle beneath his expensive suit. This made something change between Julian and her. At the gala they did what they were supposed to do. Julian introduced her to the people he worked with and to people in society. He kept his hand on the small of her back. Emma talked to people in a nice way. She laughed when she was supposed to. There were small things that felt very real. The way Julian leaned in close to her to tell her about the people they met. I remember how his thumb would draw circles on her wrist when they were standing together. He always made sure to look out for her. The way he guided her through places was really protective. He was always paying attention to where she was. His thumb tracing those circles on her wrist was something that happened when they stood together. When they were having dinner, an older woman who was sitting across the table asked them how they met each other. Emma started to talk. She was ready to tell the story that they had practiced. Julian started talking before she did. He was telling a story about this woman who was fixing a painting at the Met. He looked at Emma with a lot of intensity. It was like they were not even acting anymore. He said he was at the Met for a meeting with some people and he walked into the part of the building where they fix old paintings. This woman was totally focused on what she was doing. She was talking to the painting like it was a real person who could hear her. He just stood there. Watched her for 20 minutes. She was making something again. He knew then that he wanted to get to know this woman who was fixing the painting at the Met. That was not what they had agreed on. Emma looked at him. She was confused. For a moment he looked really vulnerable. Then he put his face back on. Emma saw this. It made her wonder what was going on with him. The story they had planned was not what was happening now. Emma said this really was not that romantic. She said it softly. Her heart was beating fast. But it was close enough. The way things happened was close enough to being romantic. Emma thought to herself the things that Emma felt. That night Emma was back at the penthouse. She could not sleep. She went to the terrace. Found Julian standing there. He was still wearing his tuxedo pants and his shirt was unbuttoned. Julian was staring at the city lights. He had a glass of whiskey in his hand. The wind was blowing through his hair. In the light Julian looked like a younger man. He did not seem as strong as he usually did. Emma saw Julian standing there looking at the city and she thought that Julian looked really different in that moment. Emma said that the story should not have been changed. She stepped onto the terrace. The story should not have been changed, Emma said, because people might ask questions about the story. Julian did not turn around. He said, I know that was a thing to do. I want to know why you did that thing. What made you do it? You did something. I do not understand why you did it. Can you tell me why you did it? He looked at her. Said, that is the truth. The way he looked at her was very honest. It took her breath away. He said, that is how I first saw you at the Met, a time before I started looking into your past. You were working on a painting of a lady and her baby. You were fixing it. You were crying. The baby's face was. That made you sad. You were sad about a painting, Emma. I have never forgotten that moment. I saw you at the Met 3 months before I hired people to find out more about you before I came up with this plan. Emma's world was completely turned down. She said, you already knew who Emma was before the consultation with Emma? Julian put his glass down. Took a few steps closer to me. He did this slowly like he was thinking about each step. Yes, he said. Julian had found out about me. He knew about my mom and all the money I owed. He knew I was in a tough spot. Julian told himself he picked me because it was easy, because I really needed help and he could get me to do what he wanted. The truth is Julian picked me because he could not stop thinking about me, about the woman who got really upset over things that were broken. Julian, Emma said in a quiet voice. Her back was against the railing of the terrace and there was no place for her to go to get away from what was really going on, the truth that Julian could see in his eyes. This was supposed to be easy, he went on, his voice sounding harsh. It was only supposed to take 6 months, a deal, that is all. Emma walks around his house like she owns the place. Emma laughs at his jokes. Emma leaves her books on the coffee table. Has classical music playing in the kitchen. Emma made his big empty house feel like a home. And he cannot keep pretending that this is about the transaction, the business deal, with Emma. She asked what was being said. Her voice was shaking badly. Julian put his hands on her face. It felt really nice. He said, I think what I am trying to say is that I started to have feelings for my wife somewhere between the time we got married at the courthouse and now. I do not want us to get divorced in 6 months like we planned. I am scared that you will take the money we agreed on and leave me, because I do not know why you would want to stay with someone like me, someone who basically paid you to be my wife. I mean, it is not like I am a person or anything, I just paid for you like you were something I could buy. Tears fell down Emma's face. She said, you are a stupid and impossible man. Can you not see what is going on? I stopped taking your money after 1 month. I stopped sleeping in the room 3 weeks ago because the penthouse felt too empty without you around, even if we were in different rooms. I leave my stuff around because I want you to know that I am really a part of your life, not someone you sign papers for. The penthouse felt empty without you. Emma wanted you to know that she was still there. That is why she left her things around, so you would see that Emma was still in your life. Emma, he said softly, and he used his thumbs to gently wipe away her tears. I really like you. The words just came out. I did not want to say that. I tried not to think about it every day. You are not like I thought you would be. You are nice. You make me laugh, and you have been hurt in ways that are like the ways I have been hurt. You made me feel like I am worth something when I thought I was only worth what we paid for. I do not want your money now, Julian. I just want to be with you, Julian. You are a person, Julian, and I like that about you, Julian. He kissed Emma then. It was not like those gentle touches they had shared in front of people. This kiss was full of need. It felt real. It was like all the times Emma had wanted to be close to him, all the months of wanting him were happening at the time. Emma felt herself becoming a part of him, her hands holding tight, to his shirt, his arms holding her close like he would never let Emma go. He was holding Emma tightly and Emma was holding him just as tightly, and it felt like they were meant to be that way. When Julian and the woman he loved finally broke apart, they were both breathing hard. Julian put his forehead to hers. He said, "Marry me." He whispered this to her. He wanted to get married for real this time. Julian wanted it to be a wedding, with flowers and music. He wanted her mother to be there too. Julian wanted her to marry him because she wanted to, not because she felt like she had to marry him. He wanted the woman to marry Julian because she loved him. Emma laughed through her tears. She said, "We are already married, you fool." Emma was really upset. That is why she said that they are already married. Emma meant that the man she was talking to should have known that she and her husband are married. "I want to renew our vows. We can do it every year if that is what you want. We can even do it every month. I will marry you 1,000 times, Emma Hayes Blackwood. I will keep marrying you until you really believe that you are the thing that has ever happened to me. You are not just important to me because of money or the things you own or the promises we made to each other. You are important to me because you make me feel like a person. You are the one who has ever made me feel this way, Emma Hayes Blackwood." 6 months later, Emma and Julian stood in a garden filled with roses and their closest family and friends were surrounding Emma and Julian. Emma wore a wedding gown that she picked out herself. It was simple and elegant. Julian cried when Emma walked down the aisle, and he did not care who saw Julian crying. When Emma and Julian exchanged their vows, the words were their words. They made promises to each other about being partners. They promised to choose Emma and Julian every day. They wanted to turn their marriage into something special, something that is more than just a commitment, and Emma and Julian wanted to make their love for each other something amazing. Emma's mother was sitting in the row. She looked really healthy and happy. She was. These were happy tears. The hospital bills were all paid for. Emma had a studio. It was in a loft in the penthouse. There were a lot of paintings in Emma's studio. The number of paintings in Emma's studio was going up. Julian's company was doing well because of him. Julian was a leader. He would leave the office at 6 every evening. He did this so he could have dinner with his wife Emma. When Emma and Julian danced their dance as a married couple, Emma leaned in close to Julian's ear. She said, "This is the thing that has ever happened to me. Marrying you is the best decision I ever made. It is, like the best deal I ever made. The best deal being marrying you, Emma and Julian, that is." Julian. He pulled her closer to him. He said that the business deal was the one he ever made. Julian thought that it was an excellent decision, for his life though. In a garden with lots of people, the contract wife and the desperate billionaire kissed. They kissed like two people who really wanted to be with each other, not just because they had to be. You know, sometimes the best things in life happen when we are really struggling. Sometimes when we pretend it can actually lead us to what is really true. The contract wife and the desperate billionaire, they found something in each other. The painting that Emma had been crying over all those months ago, the Madonna and Child, was hanging in their bedroom. Emma had finally finished fixing it. She made the baby's face look perfect again. Julian paid a lot of money to the museum for the Madonna and Child because the Madonna and Child reminded him of the moment that changed everything for them, the moment when buying the Madonna and Child changed their lives forever. Love, they discovered, was not about the contracts you sign, but about the promises you keep when the contracts expire. And theirs was just beginning.